depending where on the world you're joining us from. And thanks for joining this Applied Forecasting course, AMA. We hope that we have the opportunity to answer all your questions. Just a quick introduction. The course runs for 6 weeks, beginning on March the 24th. We've added an extra week, week 0, which begins on Monday, the 17th of May. And this is to make sure that everybody has the required level of understanding of the R software, which we'll be using throughout the course. We have a live session every Wednesday at 4 p.m. London time. This is a huge benefit for the course when, in fact, this AMA will give you a little insight onto the level of, the level of communication that you'll have with the instructors, during this live session. And I think that, another major benefit of the course is we encourage students to bring their own data so that we can use throughout the course. And that is, providing that the data privacy allowing, if anybody doesn't have the data, of course, that we're going to have, of course, we'll be able to provide that as well. So we've got Professor Spiros Makidakis, Pasquale Cirolo, and Vangelis Spiliodis on the course. I'd like to jump straight in with Professor Makidakis. If you could share us a little bit about some of the benefits of the course, and I think most importantly how the findings of the last 2 M competitions are used during the course. I think you're muted, Professor Makidakis. You need to unmute there.
Okay, now you can hear me.
Loud and clear, thanks.
Welcome again. We have the team here, Pasquale, Vangelis, who are going to be teaching together the course. The idea here is we're not going to say very much. We'll wait for you to ask questions from us. And we're hoping there will be a great teaching experience and you're going to learn a lot about forecasting. I'm going to be talking generally about forecasting, what are the advantages, the limitation, how we can use it, talk a lot about M competitions and what we have learned and how they have contributed to advancing the theory and practice of forecasting. Pasquale will talk about risk, fat tails, and how we can use forecasting. And Vangelis will be the technical person, the more technical person. He's going to talk a lot about forecasting methods, and he will tell you how to use machine learning and other advanced methods. I leave this, I'm not going to say very much. I'll pass to Pasquale. Pasquale, you have to
Yes, thank you very much, Spiros. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our presentation webinar. So as both Nick and Professor Makidakis told us, in this applied forecasting course, there will be a lot of things that you will learn if you are interested in forecasting. We will teach you hands-on how to deal with forecasting, and a very nice characteristic of the course is that you can, if you want, obviously, if you have data, if you have actual problems that you want to solve and to tackle, you can bring your problems to the course. So we can discuss them together. They can be part of your assignment, of the final assignment on which you are evaluated. So it's really a course which is meant to teach you how to use forecasting. It's not just how to speak about forecasting. Now, one thing that I would like to show you before leaving the floor to Vangelis as well is, for a second, my screen. Now, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so I think that this is very, very important. This is the website of the MOFC, so it's the Makidakis Open Forecasting Center. So it's very important that it's called Makidakis because Professor Makidakis is an authority in the field of forecasting, and the center has his name because of this reason. Now, if you visit the website mofc.unic.ac.cy, you will find information about the center in general, so also information about us, so the CV of Professor Makidakis, about me, about Vangelis, about the other people that are involved in the center. But most importantly, you can find information about the course, about the bureaucratic matters of the course that nevertheless are important and of interest, but also about the content of the course. So just here you can find a lot of information. You can find the contact details if you later want to ask more questions, if you want to speak with Nick about the pricing, about the fees. And I think that this is very important because, for example, in the course outline, you can already find the division in weeks of what we cover. So we will start from an introduction to forecasting, in which we will discuss together. You will do that mainly with Professor Makidakis. You will discuss what are the main features, the main characteristics of forecasting, the evolution of forecasting over the years as a field of research. You will learn the different tools that can be used. You will be exposed to some of the latest tools, including machine learning algorithms. And you will also be exposed and discuss important things like the applications of forecasting, the different applications, and the role of uncertainty in forecasting. So what are the implications of uncertainty when you produce forecasts? So it's a quite complete course that can teach you how to perform forecasts. What we want to stress is that this is a course that it's very flexible in the sense that if you were never exposed to forecast, you can learn a great deal of things about forecasts and forecasting. But if you are already an expert, if you're already working on that, you can learn better some of the things you already know, and you can really bring your knowledge, you can really interact with us, with your actual problems in your organization, in your university, wherever you want. And we really suggest you to do that. So to exploit the live sessions, the course forum, and all the different opportunities that are given. I leave the floor to you, Vangelis.
Thank you, Pasquale. Hi, everyone, from my side as well. I'm Vangelis Piliotis, and I'll be one of the tutors in this course. Together, we're gonna discuss about statistical forecasting methods, including traditional approaches like exponential smoothing or ARIMA or the theta method. And then we will say a lot of things about using explanatory variables and also using some well-known machine learning methods like neural networks and decision trees that have shown very promising results both in the industry and the latest competitions. I would like to say that like Pascal and Nikos and Professor Makidakis told you, it is really important for you to interact and bringing your data in this course. The course will have 3 assignments that will help you better understand the methods that we'll be talking about and using in the course. A final assignment using your data, and 2 bi-weekly assignments that will help you practice the things that we'll be discussing. And I think that this is very beneficial for you because this is not a theoretical lessons. We of course will say some things about the theory of forecasting, but it's also really applied and its purpose is to understand how you can use forecasting techniques and handle uncertainty in your businesses. So this is exactly why the last session of this course with Pascal, you will see a lot of applications and try to see how some things can be applied. The floor is to you, and of course to everyone that want to start making questions in order not to start interactive. If there are any particular questions, I motivate you to.
And as Pasquale said, a lot of this information is in the website, so we don't want to spend time on this. Let's leave time for letting you ask questions, and we can answer them the best we can.
Yeah, indeed. If you have questions about the course outline, the best thing that you can do is to visit the course website. Everything is very well described. So if you have questions more particular about anything special, I think that's the best option.
Yeah, so please fire away your questions. I know that something that happens to me on webinars is after the webinar is over, I think, oh, I forgot to ask this or I forgot to ask that. Don't worry, just drop me an email. We're in contact. If there's anything that we don't have time to answer or you forget, we can do later. But please, let's have your questions, people.
So I see that there is someone raising a hand. Yeah. So, yes. So you can write your question in the chat or as you.
Yeah, chats can be added at the bottom of the screen and the center bottom of the screen.
Well, this question about data, what we want you to do, if you get the permission from your company, get some data from your company and bring them during the course. And instead of talking in theory, then you can apply what we're going to be saying to predict the data of your company. That will add value to you personally and to your company.
I see that there is a first question. So sorry for my horrible pronunciation of your name. I already apologize. So I saw a question by Wasim. So what industry do you focus your exam?
Yeah, a lot of it we're going to talk about retailing because the M competition was about retailing and we have a lot of data and a lot of findings that will be interested if you're interested in retailing. But our course is not for any specific industry. It covers forecasting in general with some applications in certain industries.
And there are also a lot of different examples exactly for this purpose. For example, we will discuss applications in retail forecasting, in energy forecasting, in finance. So in each course, we will be using a diverse set of examples and applications to demonstrate how you can handle uncertainty and how you can use the methods that we'll be talking about. And also, of course, for the final assignment, you can bring your specific problem and use the forum or ask questions during the course. And I believe that this will help you promote your work. Personally, we've been teaching this course for multiple interactions, and I've seen a lot of different problems that the students bring and discuss with us. So it's always nice to see new problems and finding proper solutions to tackle uncertainty.
Also, something that it's used a lot by the participants in the course is the forum. There's a lot of interaction of the participants with one another through the forum.
Yeah, the forum is very important because during the week, while you are reading on the course materials, watching the videos, rewatching the live lessons and things like that, you might have questions. So, and asking the questions on the course forum is very nice to have a discussion with the other participants, with us, that will moderate the forum. So we'll try to answer your questions. And I think the forum is actually a very important part of the course.
And an additional part of the forum is you can ask additional questions if something is not clear. If you want us to go deeper to any topic, you can ask all of this in the forum.
Yeah, and also about the applications. I mean, obviously, we cannot cover all the possible application of forecasting. That's impossible. But if you have a specific curiosity, you can ask, and then we can be flexible on that. But for sure, we cover retailing, retail, manufacturing, a little bit of energy markets, a little bit of financial markets, a little bit of risk management. So at the very end, also something about the pandemic. So we try to cover a lot of things, but your input is precious. So it's very important that you contribute with your questions and your experience. If you have case studies, experience from your job that you want to share, we are always very happy about that.
Come on, you must have more questions. Please, let's hear them.
Yeah, don't be shy. We don't bite.
Yeah, we deliberately made this, having no content so that we can, answer absolutely anything about the course. So come on, give it to us. Give us some hard questions.
Here's a big question. Vageli, would you like to answer this?
The question is basically about what kind of background will be required in order to benefit from the course, and basically how deep, let's say, the material provided will be. I think that this follows the introduction made by Pasquale. It basically depends on how you want to focus on the things discussed, and how much time you want to invest to forecasting, because let's say that in each course we will provide some material, we will discuss some things, but we'll also provide additional readings, papers, some research that it has been recently done in the field. So it's up to you to interact with us and get the most out of the course. But it's quite adaptive also, depending on the level of the participant, because let's say that we will start with some basics on forecasting that do not really require any particular knowledge apart from, let's say, some basic statistics and knowledge about, for example, the distribution, the normal distribution, or stuff like that. But then we will start to advance the things a little bit and start introducing regression approaches, machine learning approaches. The key here, like I said, is that some of the libraries that will be used and some of the models that will be used will be provided through packages and libraries that will make it easier for a beginner to work with. But at the same time, since we will provide also the theory, if you want to get deeper, you will have the chance to do so.
Yeah.
No,
so let's
Pascal wants to add anything.
Yeah, so I can make an example. So together we will try to understand how we can evaluate uncertainty, how we can evaluate, for example, the impact of tails in forecasting. And obviously you could have one if not more courses just on that topic. So that depends on how much you want to be sophisticated. So what we will do, we will cover the topic in a way that is immediately operative for you, so that you can immediately apply that knowledge for your job, for your next challenges. But in the course, in that part of the course, I also provide a lot of extra materials that are up to you, for example, to read and to study if you want to also understand the mathematics behind. And obviously, if you do that, you are more than welcome to ask questions even after the end of the course. So it's not one thing that maybe is important to stress is that the course has a given duration, so 6 weeks plus the time for handing in the final assignment. But the course materials are available for you also well after the end of the course. So, for example, if at a certain point you want to come back and go deeper into the understanding of one of the topics using the extra materials, you can easily do that, and you can keep on interacting with us because you have our contacts. So it's really a very flexible course, and you can if I have to read what you write, machine learning requires a solid background in linear algebra and statistics. Yes and no, it depends. It depends, because if you want to become an expert in knowing all the properties, the mathematical statistical properties of estimators, yes. If you want to know how they map from the image to the pre-image, yes. But this is not necessarily the type of knowledge that you need to be operative, which is different.
You know, Pasquale, what is interesting is that the M5 competition, which was about retailing, it was won by an undergraduate student who beat 7,000 of the best data scientists in the world. So some of the new methods, in particular the machine learning methods, you can use them without really knowing very much about algebra or statistics. And this student, he was amazing that he won all of the big data scientists in the world. So that's...
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So our aim, our job is to give you the ability to use immediately this knowledge if you don't have it, and to improve it if you have it. But if later you want to go deeper into the more theoretical understanding, actually no problem. We provide a lot of extra materials. There is a question about R. I don't have R experience.
Yeah, before this, there's a question about, will we be able to transform the way forecasting is done today in our workplace? And this is an important and interesting question. We're in a group of academics and practitioners, and we have a project that is called the UFO project, improving the utilization of forecasting in organizations. And as a matter of fact, one of the papers that you're going to read when you take the course is about this project. Part of what we try to do with this group is to persuade firms of the benefits, of the great benefits of using systematic forecasting. Because when you don't use systematic forecasting, you use judgment. Judgment is full of biases. And Pasquale knows this very well, and Vangelis know this very well. So part of what we'll try to do, and there's a good part of what I'm going to do the first day of the course, of how we're going to persuade our companies to use systematic forecasting and what are the benefits of systematic forecasting. Okay.
So there is this question about R. So as Nick told at the very beginning, the course is over 6 weeks. So from week 1 to week 6, but there is a week 0 that we created. It's called week 0 because there is a substantial difference. In week 0, there is no live lesson. So in week 0, we won't meet on Wednesdays. and you find some videos that we already prepared. So if you already know R, you don't need to watch the videos, or you can quickly have a look. But if you don't know R, those videos already give you the basic understanding of the things that you need to know in order to fruitfully attend and follow the rest of the course. So I really suggest that you have a look at the video if you are not familiar with R. During the course, we will then introduce the different functions, tools, packages that we need. And in doing that, obviously, if you have questions, we are here to answer them. So after finish the course, would you say I can give up Excel for R? My answer would be a yes, if you want, or you don't have necessarily to leave Excel. You can also use both. So it's, I'm very practical with this. I mean, when people tell me, what do you prefer, R, Python, this and that, I use what I need for the situation. So if you know how to perform forecasting with Excel, I don't see why you should leave that. You can add extra knowledge in how to perform forecasting with R as well. So, which is definitely good.
Which is much easier than Excel.
Just
Yeah.
To clarify, I think R will be the official, let's say, language used for providing the examples during the course. But if anyone is already using, for example, Python, he can use that for addressing the questions of the assignments. So we do not make you use R if you do not wish to, but this is, let's say we will provide all the elements that you'll need in order, if you do not know how to program, okay, to be able to forecast using the R statistical package, which is, in my opinion, one of the easiest, let's say, language that you can use for this purpose. It's quite straightforward and easy to use with tabular data.
And I should add, the most complete. It covers practically everything that we need in the field of forecasting, right, Vangeli?
Yes, especially for forecasting libraries and particularly for statistical models, I think that it's way more advanced than Python right now. Of course, there are a lot of libraries that have recently become available in Python as well to address and solve some of the problems of the functions that we are using in R. But I think that Python is more for people that want to use advanced neural networks. If you do not really interested in developing neural networks for forecasting, I think that R would be just right.
Yeah, the number of packages is definitely larger, so it has a little bit more flexibility. Then obviously, if you want to write everything from scratch yourself, then you can also use Turbo Pascal. I mean, that's if it's just the thing. But just to be productive, but again, as Vangelis just told, is not compulsory. So we use R during the course, but if for your assignment you want to use Python, you want to use MATLAB, feel free. So that's totally, we are flexible on that. How long the live weekly sessions last? So there is the weekly session is on Wednesday, it's for 2 hours. So we are together for 2 hours. In these 2 hours, what is very important is that we build on the course materials that are already available each week. So each week you have a certain number of compulsory readings or videos or stuff or different materials. And during the lecture, we build on that knowledge. So it will be very much useful if you can work on the course materials before the live lesson. Also because during the live lesson, you can ask questions. If you have questions, if you have doubts, if you have curiosities, if you have suggestions. There is also the course forum, once again, which is important, but then in the live lesson, then it's immediate. On the course forum, you post your question and maybe you get the answer the next day, depending on what time you post the question. But there are different channels in which that we can use to interact. The live lesson is always present apart from week 0. In week 0, there is no live lesson. It's just videos on R.
Any other questions?
There's a question about, I think that we covered this, about if a lack of skills in our knowledge will hold someone back. I think that if you really want to learn, there's absolutely no chance to have a problem working with R. Now, of course, if you do not want to invest just a basic amount of time to see how R works and start applying the methods that we'll be discussing, of course, that's up to you. But I don't think that you have any problem. In the last 3 runs of this course, I didn't see anyone, even if they did not have any computer science background, to have particular problems in understanding how this works, especially if they invested time to do so. And there's also a question about how long the live weekly session lasts. So
yeah, that I answered. I
Yeah,
answered that.
yeah.
Yeah, for 2 hours.
There's another question that are the live lessons recorded? I think Pasquale answered that.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
they are. They are.
Yeah, all
of
live
them.
lessons are recorded and they appear on the course platform after the recording. So if we suggest to attend the live recordings, because you can obviously ask your questions. But if for whatever reason you cannot attend a class, a lecture, you will find the recording. So you can always, and if something was not clear, you want to watch it again, you can do that. When we use slides during the lesson, those slides are also made available to you. So all the materials are available to you. In any case. So and also after the end of the course, this is something I want to stress. Everything remains available to you also after the official end of the course, because that's, if later you want to go back to something, the specific paper that was cited by Vangelis or Professor Makidakis, you will find that on the course platform also in 6 months from now. Okay, so it's very important. And always about R, since I recorded some of the videos, they really start from scratch. So that's why I was telling, if you already know R, maybe some of the videos are boring, because I teach how you can type 2 + 2 to get 4, or how to create a vector, how to create an array, how to make very basic things, how to play with lists. So if you already know how to do that, it's totally useless for you. But this is the basic knowledge that we need later in the rest of the course. So for example, in week 0, I do not cover plotting too much. So how to make beautiful graphs. Why? Because this is something that you learn during the course. So when you use the different packages, we teach you how to produce the different graphs, how to interpret the graphs. So the first week 0 is really the basics of R. And it's meant for those of you that are not familiar with the language.
So what we do, Nick, now? We continue, we wait for some more questions?
Well, I've got, there are a few people that I've been speaking with that have, are considering sending, a number of people to, to join this course. Honestly, realistically, what are the benefits, the pros and the cons on sending, maybe a team of 4 or 5 people from one company to do the course? Is it something that you'd advise?
Are you asking somebody, Nick?
No, I'm just, I know that there's a couple of people on the, on here that are considering sending, groups of 4 or 5 people to do the course. And, I'm just wondering, if it's beneficial to, to have a number of people, from the same company, doing the same course.
Yeah, I think it is
Yeah.
highly beneficial in the sense that they can also maybe one thing that is not on the course website that is also nice to say is that what we observed in the previous runs of this applied forecasting course was the fact that the previous participants created Facebook groups. They created WhatsApp, Telegram groups to speak about the course content, also to have that sort of social life that you can have in a real live class. And I see that, for example, people from the same company joining together the course can be highly beneficial because they can later also work together on some of the things. They can share insights. Maybe they can, if they can share the data of the company, they can use the data from different perspectives and have a sort of group assignment. I mean, I think that there are many possibilities. And one thing that maybe can be important to stress is that when we say sharing the data, we don't mean that you have to put the data on the course forum. It's not that you have to upload all the data on the course forum available to everyone. They can also just be the data for your own assignment. And obviously us, the lecturers, so Professor Makidakis, Vangelis, me, we are bound to respect the safety and the privacy of those data. So we are not using the data for anything else. We are not sharing the data with anyone else. So they will stay within the course and within you and us. That's it.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that, Pasquale. You know, another benefit is, of course, we do have a group deal, a group discount as well.
Yeah. And for all these questions, they should ask you because you are the person for that, Nick.
Yeah.
I also want to add the previous answers that during the last two runs of the course, we actually had three teams, let's say, of people that came from the same company. And actually, I found their final assignments very useful and creative because since they worked on similar projects, they had more time to investigate different approaches for dealing with the problems of their company. So they also get, more time to get working more with the cleansing of the data, the forecasting, the connection of the solutions to the decisions that the company has to make. So I think that it's a great opportunity for teams of participants.
Thanks, Vangelis.
Well, a last thing that I would like to say is that one of the areas in forecasting is how to avoid judgmental biases. So when we do forecasting without using methods, quantitative methods, or then we have to upgrade this forecast to introduce judgment. And one of the problems that happens in this case is that we introduce biases. So we have found out that, for instance, people are much more optimistic when they do these adjustments to their statistical forecast than they are not. So part of what I'm going to talk is how to avoid judgmental biases when we're forecasting or when we're adjusting the statistical forecast. That's another important area for practical purposes.
Any other question for us?
Well, it looks as though that was all the questions. If anybody has any questions, either act now or, do contact me tomorrow if as soon as we end the webinar, you realize that you forgot to ask something. And thank you for joining us. Thank you very much for joining us, and really hope we answered all your questions and hope that you can join us on the course.
Thank you. Thank all of you for joining the course. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.